Hello everyone, this is Rayuka here, and this is my review of Mortal Kombat X. So the first thing I want to talk about is the story, but before I get more into that, I just want to let people know if you haven't played this game and you're looking forward to playing this game, there's going to be some spoilers in what I'm going to say, so I would recommend stopping the video now and maybe skipping way forward into it. If not, then just don't watch the video. But yes, I am going to spoil things, and right now some of this footage is actually spoiling some of the story, but not too critical. So let me get right into it. So for those who don't know, the Mortal Kombat X's story is a span of 25 years within itself. So you're kind of going back and forth in Mortal Kombat X's story mode. You're kind of going backwards and forwards, pretty much just trying to understand how Shinnok got an amulet and how Shinnok became free again to bring chaos and disorder to the realms. And between the story as well, there's a lot of deception going on, and there's also a lot of Easter eggs from characters and etc. But also there's a backstory to Mortal Kombat X, and that's the comic, which is published by DC, which is the Mortal Kombat X comic. You can get it physical or digital, and that pretty much bridges the gap between 9 and 10. And then you have 10 standalone story, of course. Some people felt, at least in my circle, that it would, because of that, it kind of ruined their experience, and they just felt that it was unfair in a sense. But to me, it's like, I don't know, it really depends on one's view of the story mode, and I feel like it didn't really ruin much, but there was things missing in the story mode. Like, it felt like there was things purposely missing in the story mode. Whether it was left for the comic or future installments of the game is yet to be seen. But there's a lot in the story, of course. People die. There's a lot of characters dying. Well, not a lot, but quite a few. There's also cameos as well, such as Tanya, Baraka, Rain. I'm pretty sure most people by now know that. And then there's the cliffhanger ending, which is interesting nonetheless. And I don't want to spoil that, at least. But for those who haven't seen the end of the game. Besides that, I also want to talk about the content in the game as well, such as the crypt. And then you have some new modes as well, such as faction. Faction is a mode where you have about 5 factions. One's the Lin Kuei, Black Dragon, Special Forces, White Lotus, and then I believe and Brotherhood of Shadows as well. So it's about 5 factions. Each has their own kill, of course. Each faction has its own kill, unique to the faction. Some characters will do a pose, like if you pick Lin Kuei and you're picking Sub-Zero, he'll do like a pose, which is kind of weird because he's a ninja and the pose just doesn't match Sub-Zero, but whatever. That's, I guess, the NetherRealm felt that was the right choice. And besides that, you also have Evasion, which is an event that occurs every week or so. Basically, someone from a realm or a character from a realm will evade, and they'll become a evasion boss, which is nearly impossible to beat. And then other factions will contribute to this battle, trying to take down this boss, and whoever pretty much takes down that boss is the winning faction. But nonetheless, that's pretty much it for that. I mean, this factions you choose, you unlock a little banner, icon, and things you could show off online. You also have the towers make a return as well. You have hourly, daily, and premier tower, which is interesting because the premier tower lasts for about a week, and it'll be based on a specific Mortal Kombat theme, such as Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, or Shaolin Monks. And then they'll have their DLC themed one as well, like Jason will have his own tower, and then Predator and Tanya, and most likely Tremor will have a tower as well. And as I was talking about earlier, the crypt has a lot of unlockables, but it kind of comes down to if you like unlocking most of the stuff. I mean, you have a lot of brutality. Well, obviously you unlock most of the brutalities through the crypt, and then there's one costume as well, which is disappointing for me because I thought there was going to be more costumes, or at least alternates, and that was not the case. There was not a lot of costumes. There was just one, and that was Dark Raiden. I'm saying it now. It was Dark Raiden, and it may not be too special for some people. To me, it was cool and all, but I would expect to at least see one alternate for each character, and that would have been pretty cool. Besides unlocking about 2 costumes each character through the main story, you could have also had that one extra in the crypt for each character, making it 3. But I guess they felt that that wasn't the route to go. But to me, it's just anyway. That was a bit of a disappointment for me anyway. Besides that, the soundtrack is the same. Well, not the same. Excuse me, it's not the same. Obviously, the music has gone better over time, but it feels the same because it's Mortal Kombat. They want you to feel that kind of Mortal Kombat-ness in the game, of course. So the soundtrack, it's typical Mortal Kombat soundtrack. It's not too different, but it's about the same. Could be better though. I'm just saying it's about time for some change in theme. Just saying. And then you got the costumes. As I was saying, some characters will have more costumes than others. So obviously, in my opinion, NetherRealm Studio, I would imagine the staff, each person most likely has their favorite character, but some characters will have more costumes than others, such as Scorpion, Sub-Zero will have a lot, and then some just don't. But in the Mortal Kombat library of costumes, there is quite a few, so I don't know why they're kind of just being like a little bit here, a little bit there. And then they released some DLC costumes. But before I get into that, I also want to talk about the mobile version real quick. In the mobile version of the game, you can also unlock costumes through the mobile version, just like pretty much like the Injustice amp, where you unlocked certain costumes and then you linked your account to the actual game, and then you unlock some of the costumes from the amp version into the game. The same goes for Mortal Kombat X. You unlock some costumes in the amp, and then you unlock it in the game. Besides that, there's really not much more to say. The combat is pretty solid. Yeah, now that I'm talking about that, the combat is pretty solid, but sometimes it just feels like some things don't connect. You know, like I play mainly with Sub-Zero, and I just feel like things just don't connect. But that doesn't mean things don't. So that's just me and my experience with the character. Then there's also the faction kill here, and this is Special Forces. And I have to say, the faction kill looks really cool when it's Infrared Scorpion. And I wish there were more characters had this kind of a costume or skin. Looks pretty damn unique. Besides that, each character has a unique costume, making them feel more a part of the world. I mean, to me back then, the costumes didn't seem too exciting for Mortal Kombat. They seemed kind of bland. But now that each character has more of a personality and more of a background, it's about time that I think NetherRealm, you guys should make a encyclopedia of this game. Like seriously, like, you know, you gave these characters life now, man. Like, they're unique. But besides that, I mean, there's really not much more I can say. Oh, well, wait, there is the online. The online, to me, could be a bit laggy, and I have good internet, so I don't know why it's like that. It feels a bit laggy. When the game first launched, it was just really laggy and stuff like that. But it got better with time and with a lot of updates. And with each update, usually comes a free costume, and that kind of makes up for the waiting. And there's a lot of hot fixes they have done, and there's a lot of buffs and nerfs they've done to numerous characters, especially Tanya, which is pretty crazy, the amount of nerfs they did to her before Evo. But yeah, there was just a lot of stuff that NetherRealm has done over the time of the game's release. I also want to add one more thing, and that's revolving around the DLC for Mortal Kombat X. There is a season pass. There's also some costumes on the side as well that isn't in the season pass, and you can purchase everything in the crypt in one shot. And you can also purchase easy fatalities if you feel you need to do easy fatalities, because I guess you want to waste the money on easy fatalities. It's all optional. I wouldn't waste my money on it. I feel that you can do the fatalities in the game without easy fatalities. But anyways, as for the season pass, you're getting all 4 characters, of course. You're getting Jason, Tanya, Predator, Tremor. I would have had liked though if they had alternate costumes. I mean, Meaning that Jason could have had Jason X as a costume. Predator could have had some sort of other costume, but they decided not to really do that. I don't know why they keep doing that with DLC, but anyways, that's just something NetherRealm has been doing since the last Mortal Kombat game with DLC anyway. So my review for this game, the score is 8.5 out of 10. And until next time, sayonara.
Adios, amigo.
Jax wins. Faction kill.